All right. Hey, party people. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Party people, thank you for tuning in. Sorry if I sound a little winded. Just got um, through working out, trying to catch my mind here. All right. So let's talk about foundation setting. If you know me personally, you know I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, striving to be a master of many, but often falling a little bit short. I've dabbled into learning piano, tried Muay Thai, and explored various dance forms and languages. The list goes on. But if I'm honest, consistency has been a challenge for me, or as I like to say, an area of opportunity because words matter. So let's speak better. Okay, so this inconsistency has sometimes gotten me stuck, um, feeling stuck and stuck in a style. Oh, goodness gracious, I can't even talk. Okay, this inconsistency has gotten me stuck in my feelings or in the illusion of being stuck and stuck in the cycle of starting and stopping things. Um, I'd feel like I wasn't doing things the right way, as if life demands that you stick with one thing and master it, and only then you're allowed to move on. But, as I've journeyed through life, I've come to realize it's not about rigid rules, it's about forming a foundation. And all that cycling brought me back to this core thing: God, source, self, whatever resonates with you. But this core message was clear that you have to keep it simple and build upon that. Keep your foundation for the day simple and build upon that. I used to overcomplicate things and try to live by these elaborate systems to incorporate all my different interests, but that would leave me doing little to barely any throughout the day. And then I even tried just doing one thing, focusing on just one thing, but I've learned that I have to have three. I feel like I sound so winded right now. I'm so sorry. Let me see. Yeah, I'll probably have to do this when I'm not. Okay. I used to overcomplicate things and try to live by these elaborate systems to incorporate all my interests. Then I'd swing to focusing on just one thing at a time. But what I've learned is that my best days come from sticking to my core three. Those are meditate, read, and move your body. Once I've done these three, I can layer everything on top. Everything on top is just like icing. For me, movement often looks like strength training, as you can probably hear. Still sounding a little winded. Yoga or a walk. And guess what? When I just stuck with those core three, um, really, really set me up for success. Like it went for me like doing maybe like 50% of the things I wanted to do throughout the day to like 90. Because once I got those core three checked off, it was like motivation and the momentum to keep my day going. And one thing that you have to remember is to strive for progress, not perfection. Okay, so that is my bit on foundation setting. And then I also wanted to talk about this book I've been delving into, Lessons from the Queen Afua. So I've been delving into Sacred Women by Queen Afua, a book about women tapping into their feminine power. And so I want to be fully transparent. I'm nowhere near finished yet. And for further transparency, I did not read it all the way through before winding up on chapter 4, and I'm zoning in on Gateway Zero for about a month now. Um, it is recommended that, people have recommended that you read the book all the way through before like taking part in the practices. But if you learn anything about me through these first couple minutes here, I'm like in this squirrely energy at times. So on chapter 4, working on Gateway Zero. I've been working on Gateway Zero. I feel like it's been like a month and a half, and even from that, I've already seen a shift. Whether it's my core three or the book, I'll give both of those their dues. So the book got me thinking of just some things to share as well. We have to remember to pause often and breathe, and then just listen to yourself, God, source, universe, whoever you want to call it, just this thing that's not these daily hassles. Listen to that inner instinct and trust that it'll lead you where you need to go. And trust that there's a whole different level of growth that comes when you find that balance in between mixing the wisdom of others and these books and these tips and these advice forums, and then listening to yourself, because that's what life is about, just listening to yourself and figuring out what works for you. And I'd like to throw in an analogy here, a pizza analogy. So let's say you're making a pizza and the recipe calls for fresh tomatoes in the sauce, but all you've got is canned tomatoes. You got canned tomatoes that fill up the whole pantry. You could probably even start up a whole business reselling those canned tomatoes. Now, I really hope you wouldn't travel to the store to buy fresh tomatoes just because the recipe calls for it. Or, worse yet, you just give up because you feel like you don't have the perfect ingredient. Why not just give it a try with what you already have? See if you like the canned tomato taste more than the actual fresh tomatoes. Yeah, I don't know if this is a great analogy, but I hope you see the point in that, this is often how life looks. People try to follow someone else's recipe to the T, ignoring their own unique gifts and what they already have within them. So, you're welcome for the analogy. This journey through life ultimately is a journey back to self and is about you, rediscovering you. Period. That's pretty much all I want to say here. It's just, I think we forget that we have all the answers inside of us and the life that we want to live, and I think we already know, but it's like we use these outside things for validation and think that we have to strive for someone else's life when you might not necessarily even like freaking fresh tomatoes. Like, bringing it back there, random, but not at the same time. It's just listen to you is the biggest advice I can say, and what I'm kind of getting back to now. This journey isn't about everyone else's blueprint. It's about coming home to yourself, rediscovering you. And you can gain all this inspiration from others, but ultimately, we've all got our own answers inside ourselves. And sometimes we tune those out in favor of those external validation and guidance. But the truth is, take a breath, take a step back, and give yourself some more trust, Well, I hope I made some sense, because I know I can go on some tangents and hopefully something landed somewhere. Thank you for listening, beautiful people, and have a wonderful day.